This is Sports Talk with Hardball Unlimited. Let's go. Hello everyone. Welcome to the first episode of Sports Talk with Hardball Unlimited. I'm Chris.
I'm Josh.
I'm Chad.
And this is going to be a weekly podcast where we talk about all things sports. I mean, we're not going to talk about soccer, but so let's just jump right in. Today we're going to talk about local high school football results. Can the Phillies win this series? Are the Buckeyes as good as they want us to think? And are the Bucks and Wolverines that good, or is the Big Ten just that bad? Around the NFL talk, why Tom Brady, why, and Monday night and Thursday night football picks. So we'll jump right into some local high school football results. Northwestern, Crestview, both get big wins and move on in the playoffs. We were at the Crestview game. Any thoughts on that, Josh? What did you see?
A little bit of a slow start, but they really was able to turn it on. I think the defense is for real. And I think with their size, this might be the best Crestview team I've ever seen.
Yeah. I think offensively, they struggled a little bit. I mean, the defense came up big, gave them 3 picks. That made their offense look a lot better. I think they need to do better running the ball next week against Patrick Henry if they want to keep up this 38-0 streak they've got.
Oh, absolutely. Patrick Henry's definitely got pedigree. And the last time we played into the playoffs, they knocked Crestview out.
Yeah. I know Mapleton lost, Black River lost, so they're done in the playoffs, so it's on the basketball for them, unfortunately. But yeah, Crestview got the big one against Patrick Henry next week. They win that one. They'll move on, win one more, they got to play Cary again. Cary won the state title last year, so hopefully they can win that one and keep moving. But we'll move on. Now it's time to talk about our favorite subject right now, the World Series. Can the Phillies win this series? They win game 1, they lose game 2. What do you think, Chad?
I think they can win the World Series. I mean, I think they get clutch. Like, they just come up clutch.
They ran into a juggernaut in Valdez yesterday.
Juggernaut.
He
Absolutely.
just dominated that game.
Absolutely.
If they gotta see that, I don't see them beating him. They gotta win. They gotta win again before they face him again.
Yeah, well, but they beat Verlander.
Yeah. Well, let's not even get to that. How do you leave Verlander in that game? 5-0. He gives up 3 runs, and you leave him in that game.
I don't agree with that.
With the bullpen that Astros had.
Absolutely.
It's a little different to the Phillies. You don't have that strong of a bullpen. You need to rely on your 2 starters. Wheeler and Nola have to be great. They have a great bullpen. How do you leave Verlander in there?
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
When you brought in a Brady who's just throwing 99-mile-an-hour gas at the top of the zone, and then a slider that's wipeout, like, why leave Justin in there? Like, I understand Dusty wants to trust him, and he does trust him. He got you there. But it's World Series game 1, and like he didn't look the same.
No.
He did not look the same in the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, he didn't have it in the 4th and 5th. And Abreu and Neris had it. Neris came out, he looks nasty. Like, game 2, though, was just dominant. They couldn't hit.
Neris is pitching with a little bit of a chip, too.
Yeah.
Like, he was a Philly.
Right.
Like, he wants that.
If Philly has any chance of winning this, they've got to win it like they won game 1.
For
They're
sure.
telling you right now, roster head to toe, the Astros are better.
Oh,
Better bullpen, better starting rotation, better lineup. But, like you said, the Phillies have timely hitting. If you can hit late, keep the game close and hit late, yeah, I think they got a
And
shot.
I think the Phillies believe it. I think they believe they're better than Houston.
I agree.
I think the Phillies have that edge. Like, they shouldn't be here right now. They should not be in the World Series. And they found a way to win and found a way to do it with explosive offense. I mean, down 5-0. You're down 5-0, you come back and win. Like, that gives you a belief that you can do anything.
Yeah. You fired Girardi, you got a losing record at the All-Star break. New manager steps in, flips the switch, they start hitting. I mean, to me, it's one of those Cinderella stories, but she better be trying to dance a little longer because they can't not offensively go toe to toe with them.
And I think
They've got it. They've got their big bats. Got to be their big bats.
And I think this is the game where we really find out what they are with Wheeler or whatnot on the mound.
Wheeler's got to win the next one.
Yeah,
Wheeler's got to win one of the two.
I really agree. With what they have coming up now, I don't see them winning this next game of the series. I don't.
It's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. The pitching just isn't there. They need to win the next Wheeler game, and Nola has to dominate again. Like, he just has to be great.
Oh, I agree. I mean, those are your two horses. They've got to succeed if you want any shot.
Yeah, and now you've already lost one game, so you have to make a game up somewhere.
Absolutely. I thought the biggest takeaway that I found from game 1 and game 2, urgency. I thought Houston in game 1 got up 5-0 and kind of coasted, offensively, just kind of.
Oh, we got Verlander.
Right, just kind of coasted. And I think maybe game 1 snapped them out of it.
Right.
Because game 2, they looked totally aggressive.
Yeah.
And Wheeler, was it what, 92, 93?
Yeah.
That velo's not gonna.
No.
That's not gonna play.
Oh,
And the Astros are doing it with some of the bottom of the order guys. But some of those guys are coming up with home runs.
and I know none of us here really care for Jose Altuve, but he put a swing on a ball last night that was up high in the zone and put it in play, and it was just magical. Like, the things he does extra to make him so much better of a hitter.
And listen, the Astros need him. He has struggled this postseason. They need him. You can say whatever you want with Correa, Sleeman. Altuve's always been that leader because he's kind of been the one coming through all those tough years. The Astros losing 100 games.
Just like I told you last night, he has the most postseason home runs currently in baseball.
Right. Yeah.
If you're a current player in baseball, he's the most postseason home runs. He's been here for the last 5-6 years, every year.
And they've been winning despite him, but they're going to need him for this season.
They need to win.
Absolutely.
They need him. Who do we think needs to step up the most for the Phillies?
If you're asking me, I'm going to say the bullpen because I think again, if they want to win, they've got to keep the game close. I don't see them going out there winning slugfests with the Astros.
See, that's where I
And the Astros bullpen's so good. You've got to keep it close and try to win late.
I think that's ideal. I don't see that happening. I think they're going to have to win a slugfest. They're going to have to score 6 runs to win a game, like they did the other night. They need Bryce Harper to step up. He needs to hit better. He needs to, because below him they've been hitting well. He needs to step up and be that guy that got him to the World Series. What do you think, Chad?
Castellanos is the key to me, because listen, Bryce, for as much as I thought Bryce was a regular season hero, in the playoffs he's delivered a lot every time he's up. But Castellanos, hitting 217 behind him?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes it hard on Bryce. But Houston's going right after Bryce. I thought they would pitch around Bryce. They're like, no, here you go.
Right. I think a big part of that is they just believe in their lineup. Yeah. They're not afraid of the Phillies lineup.
No. Well, I mean, listen, Alvarez, Bregman. You can say what you want about Alex Bregman. And come October, you don't want to pitch them.
No.
You
You
don't.
saw it last night.
You did, absolutely.
You saw it last night.
I'm like, oh boy, this is a big spot for Bregman. And here comes the fastball.
And he don't miss too many fastballs in postseason.
No, you don't cross out the zone.
No, he doesn't.
No.
But that's the biggest thing that I've seen, about the Astros, is 162. I don't see them play that much. They're very disciplined.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing too for the Phillies is they're going to have to win close games, and can they play any form of small ball to steal a win?
Yeah.
I know we were watching the game the other night. We had runners on second, and Josh, no outs. He's like, bunt. They're down 5. The bunt. And they didn't. It still ended up working out. He hit a shot off the wall. But they may need to play small ball to beat that team.
Well, they got to take advantage of runs when that opportunity comes up.
I know they're a super explosive offense, but Brandon Marsh, he's coming big this playoff run.
He was a big piece.
Yeah, big piece.
Big
and he
piece.
can move. So you get him you gotta be able to move him around. Get him in
Absolutely.
scoring runs.
And that stop guy, the Philly shortstop, that guy has nothing but great guys.
Yeah.
Like a 12-pitch walk last night.
Yeah.
That guy might be a professional hitter.
Right, and that comes back to the Phillies just being able to replace some of the things. You know, with Didi that was there, they get rid of him, this kid steps in. Girardi's gone, this guy steps in. The third baseman earlier in the season goes, I hate Philadelphia, get me out of here, is now loving it.
Oh,
Oh, I was following you.
how do you not love it? You're in a World Series.
Right.
And you shouldn't be like,
No, you shouldn't be.
Right.
You have no business being here, right?
Yeah, and you can play a little looser that way, that's kind of what might make them dangerous.
That gives them the edge. Like they have, Houston has everything to lose here.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Philly shouldn't be here.
Houston has to win one with no asterisk on their name.
Yes,
And
for
this
sure.
is their chance, because they haven't been able to do it except for using that ball.
So we got,
And they might have, I mean, they might have a couple more. Like, well, I hate them.
This team ain't done, I agree with that.
Like, Jeremy Pena, like, I might take him over Carlos Correa.
Right, absolutely.
Like, I understand why, because I'm like, how can you just let Correa walk?
Right.
And then Correa walks, and Jeremy Pena is the MVP of the ALCS.
Right.
for sure. Do we have some keys for victory? What do you think they got to do next, or coming up on Monday night to Phillies and Astros to win?
Well, listen, I'm still going to say the Astros. I still think the Astros are just flat out a better team. And I'll probably stick with that prediction.
We have Syndergaard facing off with McCollum on the mound. Syndergaard, I mean, when he got triggered, everybody's like, well, the Phillies are still bad.
I think Houston's in a way better spot, just bullpen wise. Like a day off, you didn't have to throw. He let Framer throw 7 and what, 2/3, like, so they're rested. Outside of Preston, who threw back to back, but Abreu's rested.
And almost everyone of them is throwing 100 plus.
Well, yeah, they're going like that Stanley guy. Just barely throwing him. He's a league leader in ERA.
And that was what was kind of surprising to me too. They let Valdez, but he was well over 103, 104 pitches go. I know he's gonna get the rest, but
I think Dusty's kind of old school.
you see that dominance. You want to see that again in 3 days. You know, what I mean, 4 days.
Absolutely, he did the same thing to Burlington.
Yeah.
Like leaving him out there, like nowadays, we're like 80 pitches in the fourth. Yeah, like
Yeah, you're done.
We're going to the bullpen.
Especially with the bullpen.
Absolutely.
So like that's the only thing that kind of concerns me with those two starters coming back. I mean, Verlander threw 80 something pitches and he threw 100 plus.
Yeah.
They're going to have to come back and they're not going to be 100%. When they could have been. You know what I mean? They didn't have to. They could have pulled Verlander in the fifth and he was done. They could have pulled him in the fifth and he was done. They probably still won that game with that bullpen.
As much as I'd say I'm rooting for Philly, Astros winning at home in Game 6.
Yeah. So let's make a pick for Monday night's game. Syndergaard versus McCollum. Astros. I think this is a must-win for the Phillies. Must-win. If they don't win this game, they have no shot.
I think it's big for both.
Yeah.
But I mean, I listen. Like that Philly crowd's gonna be nuts.
Right.
Like, so I don't feel like Houston can get behind, but I feel like they're gonna jump on Syndergaard like they did Wheeler, and it's 2-0 in the first, and I'm not guessing.
Syndergaard has to be great, but I think this is a must-win for the Phillies. I'll take the Phillies in this one because if they lose, I think it's over. Like the series is, I just don't see how you're not going to beat Valdez again. You're not going to see that Verlander collapse. I wouldn't think that they would do it to him again.
Well, I don't think Dusty will leave him out there in that situation again.
And you're going to see that bullpen, which is just dominant.
Because it's going to be Game 6.
Yep.
So I mean, I think Justin Hay get me through twice, and then let's go to the bullpen.
So yeah, I think this is a must-win for Philly. What do you got, Josh?
I think Astros showed dominance.
Their dominance. All right, and that's it for baseball talk today. We're gonna move on to the Buckeyes. Are they as good as everybody wants us to think they are? We'll go to Chad first. Then I want to talk to Josh about it yet.
Yeah, they little hiccup. Listen, they never played well at Happy Valley.
Oh, it was insane.
Insane.
Watching the game, you couldn't hear anything but crowd noise.
If you watch the Michigan-Penn State game and then the Ohio State-Penn State game, you would think Penn State, it was two different games.
For sure.
Like, just did not look good. And losing Ryan Williams, it really didn't help.
Well, we just couldn't run the football.
We could not run
the football.
No.
I was sitting there watching with my dad, and he's talking about our defense, and I'm like, if I'm an Ohio State Buckeye, and we go into the half only giving up 14 points, I feel like we're up 3 touchdowns. Normally.
Yeah, normally.
We weren't. Like, I feel like it should have been 35-14. If, like, I see that we only give up 14 runs, or 14 points, I honestly think we're up 35-14, if I don't know any better. And our offense just buttered. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr., freak. Absolute
listen,
stud.
I feel like he's the best wide receiver in college
Football, for sure. Like, if we needed something, we went to him and he made the play.
Right.
I am concerned about our running game, though. Ryan Williams goes out, best running back on our team. I honestly believe it. And we can't run the football. We didn't run the football all game. I mean, we broke out, we had the one big run, but one big run doesn't show that you're consistently able to get 6 yards a rush.
They weren't winning the line of scrimmage consistently.
No. Well,
In the first half.
And you saw that too. Stroud's feet, he got happy feet in the third quarter. He was getting hit. He was getting hit hard.
Yeah.
He hasn't had that all year. Like, he was getting hit, and he was getting hit hard. I think the Buckeyes are good. I don't think they're the number 2 team. I think their offense is the number 2 offense in the country when they were running. I don't think we're number 2 in the country right now. I'm telling you right now, I'm a Ohio State Buckeyes fan. Michigan scares me right now because they're so
Michigan should scare you.
They're so consistent at all aspects of the game. They're not really good at anything, but they're good at like they're just good enough at everything they do. Good at special teams, good on defense, good on offense. They're not great, but they're good. They're consistent. We are not consistent right now at anything.
But we scored.
But we scored.
We scored when it mattered.
I mean, we scored what 21 points in like 4 minutes.
Yeah. We scored 21 points. Yeah, like we
I
scored.
mean, that fourth quarter looked like a Ohio State football. The
Yeah.
first 3 quarters looked bad.
Well, listen, in the third quarter, I'm like, oh boy, upset alert.
Yeah.
But then, like, hey, see, we need to drive. Especially like nothing was going the Buckeyes' way. Like, they got just 2 kicks in a row, but there's penalties.
And they were both offsides.
Yeah, they're both all like.
They called false starts. They were both offsides. He jumped on the nose guard. He
Yeah.
jumped both times, and they called offsides. It was just bad luck. From the Michigan fan, what do we think?
I think Ohio State is a legitimate contender for a national championship. Just like Chad said, it's very hard to play in Happy Valley. And Penn State usually gives them their best. I know as a Michigan fan, not so much this year because Iowa's been so bad. Iowa game at Iowa always scared me. I don't care what the records were, they played Michigan tough every time they went there. Ohio State's got either probably top 2 offense. I agree with you on that. The thing that I like about them is they dominate the fourth quarter.
Oh yeah.
That's in all, you look at everything. They come out, they win football games, and they dominate the fourth quarter. And I know a lot of people look at the score and start freaking out and think, you're not going to play your best every week. You just don't. You don't play your best every week. And Penn State doesn't have to get up for Ohio State every week. He's going to do it once.
Oh, I agree too. But like, here's the thing: that score doesn't even reflect how close that game actually was.
Right.
Like, we had beaten by 13. We were up at 20 by 1 point, but that game never felt like more than a 3-point game.
And then that's why, that right there is one of the things I consider why they are a contender, because they win those football games. When things go bad, they still win those football games. And when fourth quarter comes, the most important part of the game, they don't.
For sure. I am concerned their secondary isn't very good either. I forget what his name was, that receiver for Penn State lit us up.
Oh yeah, number 3.
Number 3.
I forget his name.
He lit us up.
Yeah.
And we didn't have an answer for him. So,
But they make plays.
They make plays.
Like,
I will say this, looking at everything, the one thing that does scare me, whether you talk about Ohio State or Michigan, I don't think they play great schedule. I think they play a tough schedule.
And we'll talk about that here soon. I think the biggest thing though with the Buckeyes, I think they have to find a way to run a football. They got to find a way. It's the Big Ten. It's the Big Ten. You can't run the football, or you can't not run the football and be successful. You have to go run the football. You look at every Buckeyes team in the history that was successful, they could run the football. And we have to figure out a way to run the football early in the game. I know we had the breakout run, but if we can't run the football, we ain't gonna beat a team like Michigan. We won't. We have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. That makes, well, just think about this. We couldn't run the football all game, so play action didn't happen. And Stroud in motion is when we won. That's when he's successful. We can't get him in motion. We literally cut the playbook in half for him. So we'll move on. Now we're looking at the Bucks and the Wolverines. Are they good, or is the Big Ten just bad?
Both.
When Maryland is your fourth best team,
Yeah.
you're in trouble.
Well, so I think Penn State's the third best team.
Yep.
I think it was Ohio State, Michigan, whatever way you want to classify that. I'll go Ohio State, Michigan, and then Penn State, and then I think there's just a gap.
Yeah. Maryland's got a lot of talent. They're just never been a winner. They've never played in big games where it really mattered. So like they have a lot of talent. I think they can be scary 3 or 4 years from now. They can keep doing what they're doing recruiting. But Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, that's it. Like I think the rest of the conference is trash.
And that's what really scares me in the long run when you look at things. You know, not being able to really play a tough, competitive team could hurt you if you're trying to make a run, you know, in the playoffs. But the nice thing is, whoever you got that Michigan Ohio State game last game of the season. That's going to be a big game. Whoever wins that's going to play somebody in the Big Ten. Though I would say whoever wins Ohio State Michigan wins the Big Ten championship.
Doesn't mean they're going over.
But still, you're playing a championship. You're going to be up for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So having those two back-to-back going into the college playoffs could help you. But the regular schedule, I've just been cupcakes.
Oh, for sure. The Big Ten is, so, I know they're talking about the restructure and everything. The Big Ten is so bad. Like, we don't realistically have a good game until the final game of the season. From here on out. Like, we don't really have a tough challenge.
No. I think they thought Notre Dame would be a lot,
Yeah,
a lot better.
I'm sure when that game was scheduled, they
Absolutely.
were a cupcake. I agree with you.
But, like, the hard part is, I know we're such a, what's going on currently, like, people aren't even thinking about Notre Dame anymore. It's so early in the year to play that game. Like, that game you played like week 6, week
Well,
7.
you had them highly ranked. And listen, I know a lot of Buckeye fans, and I had friends who were like, oh my gosh, we're bad, you know, Notre Dame's not very good. I mean, they're number 3. Like, you know, they just had to play the number 3 team, and maybe that's why it was rough. But they ended up, Notre Dame's not what?
I think it's fair to say when they meet Ohio State and Michigan, both of them, Michigan, Ohio State's going to be the best team they play. And Ohio State, Michigan's going to be the best team they play.
100%.
I mean, that game, that game's going to be nasty.
Right, I agree.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited about the game.
Michigan played Michigan State last night. Any thoughts on what you saw from your Wolverines?
I thought they were obviously the better team. I thought they played very conservative, which is what they have not done all year. But I get it. Your one loss last year was to Michigan State. You're at home, and they decided to just go for the points every time. Michigan going for on 4th and 2, 4th and 5 even at the time of the season, just because they were better. We're going to run like we throw it. We're going to get it. And even some of the trick plays. I thought they played very conservative, but I get it. You don't want to lose to them. Keep getting your field goals, especially when you know you can't score on my defense. I'm going to keep taking my field goals, keep getting the lead a little bit, and I think that's just pure confidence in your defense. But they can't do that against Ohio State. You can't take just field goals against Ohio State.
No. Well, and like I said, I think what makes Michigan dangerous is they're so consistently doing it, everything they do. I don't think good will beat the Buckeyes, though. You're going to have to play better than good.
Well, their run game scares me.
Yeah.
And come to Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, their run game.
Yeah, listen, the biggest thing of last year's game was Michigan at times played well against Ohio State, but when that first thing went wrong, when Ohio State bust off a 65-yard touchdown pass or blew out a big run, they never recovered. Last year, Buckeyes didn't score, Michigan just ran right back down.
Yep.
Every time Buckeyes scored, Michigan just smashed them. And I think that was the difference from that and the past 11 years. So I think Michigan can't go into that game thinking, oh, here comes Ohio State. They got to come in thinking, we're better than you again, and we're going to beat you the Michigan way. If they can think that, they got that confidence, yeah. But if they go and play like they did against Michigan State,
One game in like 20 years.
yeah, I think Ohio State wins if they play the way they play against Michigan State.
For sure. Now we'll do some around the NFL talk. I know Josh, Michigan, the Yankees, clearly, and now the Bears. The status of your Bears. Wow. I don't know though. You don't know. They just beat the Patriots decidedly.
Well, you're trying to win ball games with a guy named Zappy. I mean, I know people,
Hey, don't hate on the Zap.
I'm a fan.
Listen, I get it. He come and they put him in, and he, drove down the field. They got 14 points. That was it. The Bears defense shut him down after that. I mean, that was just not. And they, try to bring Mac back in.
Well, and here's the thing though. Like watching that game, they let Justin Fields do what Justin Fields does best.
Yes, I agree.
And if they're going to do that, they can be dangerous. Like, we had this talk about Trubisky. They handcuffed him, and he's not going to be successful. They handcuffed Justin Fields all year so far, and they let the handcuffs off, and they see success. It's like, man, like, the Bears are better than people think they are. I really think that.
Well, they're super young. They're super young, and they don't have that.
I mean,
they don't have that veteran there.
I'm saying that they're down 28-17 right now to the Cowboys. Cowboys are a good football team.
Yeah.
But the Bears are down 28-17.
Yeah. Well, listen, they're young. There's some talent there, but they traded everybody that was a Pro Bowler. Anybody that
Oh, they just got rid of what's Quinn.
Yeah, they traded Quinn. Our only pass rusher.
Yep.
So he's gone. So I will say this: at least if you're going to rebuild, they committed 100% to a rebuild and got rid of everybody, trying to stack up picks. They got a 4th round pick for Quinn, which I would have figured he'd fall a little harder for something else. But at least they committed to this rebuild. I just hope they do enough to take care of Justin Fields so he stays healthy and stays in Chicago.
We got to find out, right? You have to find out if Justin Fields
Is your guy.
Well, listen, the last time they really had a great quarterback was
They've
Cutler.
never had a great quarterback.
never.
I like Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler's an anomaly.
Jay Cutler might be the best quarterback they've ever had.
The Bears have never had a good quarterback.
Right, and then you got to go back.
They've had great defenses
Late
and great
80s.
skill around them, but they've never had a great quarterback.
Right. So if you think Justin Fields the man, then take care of it.
I don't know if we believe that.
Well, you've got a new coach and a new GM because for some reason Chicago keeps hiring rookie GMs and rookie coaches, which is on a carousel. So
Welcome to my whole life being a Browns fan.
until they commit to something, they're just gonna be on this forever.
I agree. I don't think they're committed to Justin Fields. I don't. I really don't.
I don't either.
They wouldn't be trading away the best things around him if they were.
Well, right.
If they were committed to him, they'd be keeping the things that will help him be successful.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that. So I don't think they think Justin Fields is their guy.
The Bears.
The bad part though is the Bears are going to win 9 games.
That's what
And draft 13.
the Bears are going to do what they normally do: play through the middle of the season out of contention to make a playoff spot, and then rip off 5 of your last 6 wins, just enough to not get a good draft.
Yeah.
That's Chicago Bears football.
That's like every year. Every year. Where
They can't even lose right.
on the other end, you get the Browns, and they'll just lose right, and then draft nobody. But we'll talk about that later when we talk about Monday Night Football. Around the league, what else? We got Tom Brady issues. What's going on with the Green Bay Packers, though? You guys might be better than they
I
are.
love them.
You guys might be better than they are. Aaron Rodgers, I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. They are bad at football.
They are.
Needs to come here.
They are bad at football.
That might help.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got young receivers, but
Listen,
Tom
Aaron
Brady won how
Rodgers-
many Super Bowls with receivers you didn't even know their name?
Aaron Rodgers has turned into the crabby old man. I'm telling you right now, is what he went on was the Pat McAfee show,
Yep.
and rips his teammates. Just rips his teammates. And the bad thing is, then he comes back and goes, "Well, no one has said, they were upset with it." Well, no, you don't have those big veterans that probably would step off the side, but hey, keep your mouth shut. You got a bunch of young kids that's probably been told, that's Aaron Rodgers. Shut up and listen to him.
And what's he's won one Super Bowl.
One Super Bowl.
2 back-to-back MVP though. He is the back-to-back MVP. I like Aaron, but they're playing bad football and he's not making it.
Listen, I know he plays for Green Bay. I don't like Green Bay. I hate that they put him in with the great, mention him as the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
That's ridiculous.
It is. I don't see it. He's a great individual quarterback. He's a great player. But when you start mentioning Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Super Bowl, more than one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, and the hard part for me is too, great players make others around them great. Aaron Rodgers, okay, he's got a bunch of young receivers. Make them great. Where's your leadership? You're showing absolutely none. Tom Brady literally had receivers that you didn't even know their name, and they won Super Bowls. I mean, I'm not saying Tom had Randy, he had great receivers too, but he had receivers that you didn't even know their name, and he won Super Bowls with them. Great people make other people great, and he's not doing that. Aaron Rodgers is not doing that.
We need to go back to the playoffs last year. He did not play well.
No, I mean,
No, he was not a good quarterback.
no, not at all. I think it's I'm going to say this right now. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady both should have retired. Been done.
Tom Brady should have retired after he won the Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
Been done.
That might be the ultimate middle finger. I don't need you, Bill. I walked on to another team and still won a Super Bowl. I'm out.
But we'll save that. We'll save that for Tom Talk.
He walked in on one of the teams, but
He did.
We'll save that for Tom Talk. What else? Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett. Mitch Trubisky. Pittsburgh's bad. They're real bad. They might be worse than the Browns.
Oh, that's.
The hard part is
The Browns didn't beat them.
the Browns. Here's the thing. The Browns at least know who their quarterback is.
Very good.
Pittsburgh
Even though he's
doesn't,
not here yet.
even though he's not here yet.
Well, listen, I mean, in all honesty, everybody in Pittsburgh knows Pickett's playing.
Pickett's the guy.
Listen, no one loves Mitchell as much as I do.
No one loves Mitchell.
No one does.
No one loves Mitchell.
Listen, I love him coming out.
Well, Ohio boy, I went to the Bears. I just liked him. But, I mean, as soon as you draft Pickett, you know who the future quarterback of your franchise is.
For sure. For sure.
They don't do anything well in Pittsburgh.
No.
They can't run the ball. Their offensive line's terrible.
Right.
It's Cameron Hayward and the rest of the defense.
Which surprises me because you would think, I like Tomlin, and I think Tomlin's a good coach.
I think
You
Tomlin's
would think-
the most overrated coach in the NFL.
I think he's a
Look at this. Look at this for here. He's consistently good enough to take you to the playoffs. He's won one Super Bowl.
But yeah, but you defend Aaron Rodgers.
I did defend it. I just told you I think he should retire. Mike Tomlin is that coach who's going to get you 8 to 10 wins every year, and that's it. He won one Super Bowl.
He's never had a losing record.
No, but he's won one Super Bowl. And everybody talks about one of the greatest coaches of all time. He's won one Super Bowl.
But if you look at it, okay.
And he's had some of the greatest offenses in history.
Say you're the
Antonio Brown. He's had some of the greatest offenses in history.
You're the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm not saying you
No,
don't
I
think
know,
that.
I'm just saying. But you're the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Do you fire him?
I just don't think you can call him one of the greats.
Right.
You can't fire him. He wins every year. You can't fire him. He is a good coach. He just isn't great. The great ones find a way to win Super Bowls. He's won one. And he walked into a team that Bill Cowher handed him.
Do you consider Andy Reid great?
Andy Reid is good.
He's only won one.
He's only won one.
He's got a lot of really
Great talent.
really good teams.
And he's won one.
1-1.
Bill is great.
Well, listen, you can't.
Oh, Bill is great.
You can't put Bill in this.
Bill is great. He's won multiple and he's proven that it's him. Patrick Mahomes won Andy Reid a Super Bowl.
Well, listen, he hasn't won one without Tom.
Well, he is not. And
It's
he's
because
not
he's
going.
got Zappy.
He's not going. He's not going to.
So was it Tom?
It was Tom. I 100% believe it was Tom. Tom made people, I was Tom's that filter.
Absolutely.
That filter. So he could go talk to Bill, and Bill can't talk to you. Because you're going to, come on. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But Tom can talk to Bill, and he can be hey, we need to do this. I don't think they have that guy that leadership role guy that can do that between Bill and the team now. So I think until they find that person, which again, you're trying to find the greatest quarterback of all time, I don't think Bill, I think Bill's done. I don't foresee, I'm going to say this right now, Bill will never win another Super Bowl.
You don't think he will?
No. I mean, his current quarterbacks are Zappy and Mac Jones. Mac Jones is horrible. Zappy might be better than Mac Jones.
I think Zappy is better
I
than
do.
Mac Jones.
I agree. But I don't think Bill will ever win another Super Bowl.
Well, it's really, I mean, with Mahomes and Allen.
It's so hard.
Yeah, that's
And those, like,
And
Burrow, Herbert, like, you're just great. Like, the AFC right now is crazy. And he ain't leaving. If he leaves the Patriots, he's retired. So,
I think maybe he gets one more. Maybe.
I don't see how.
I don't know though, his roster,
They're bad.
how he builds his roster just doesn't
Makes sense?
make sense.
No. Like I was listening to the Pat McAfee show the other day, and they said good teams trade for guys. Bad teams trade for picks. Picks are proven. That third round pick could be Josh Cunningham getting drafted. Like,
Super Bowl.
at receiver. He's like, you don't know.
Just get it to the
You don't know. Unless you're getting a 1 or a 2, those picks are worthless.
You better be Tyreek Hill for us.
Yeah. Those picks are worthless unless you're getting a 1 or a 2. Like, you really don't know. It's a guessing game.
It is.
And like all the time we talk about too, like where these players are going. If you're Josh Cunningham, quarterback from Michigan Wolverines, do you want to get drafted by the Cleveland Browns? No.
Absolutely.
Who does?
Pay me.
Listen, if I'm getting drafted that high, there's other people that want me. So no, I've got choices.
Pay me. Oh,
I agree. You get paid.
and if you turn it around,
How many quarterbacks have we seen fail though?
Right.
oh,
Listen, I would rather fall butt backwards into a really good team and take that team over.
We literally
but
like
if you get it, like,
Oh, listen,
eventually, I might not be alive, but somebody's going to do it.
Whoever wins the Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns will be.
Yeah, you're the mayor, you're the governor.
say the team.
Yeah,
But-
you basically own the team.
They might change it to Cleveland.
The real question
Right after the
is,
name.
would you rather get drafted number 1, or maybe get drafted to New England when Tom was there and play behind him for 2 years and get traded like Jimmy G, and now you're the guy in San Francisco?
Number one.
You want to be a Cleveland Brown because you're like, look at Brady Quinn. How many years did he actually play?
Well, because listen, like I feel like the competitive nature in myself says, listen, I'll go to, if I like, obviously I'm not going to be the Cleveland Browns quarterback, but if I'm in that position, like, yeah, I want that challenge. Like, I want to be.
I mean, I feel like Baker had that.
He did.
And
He wanted it.
Baker might be the Browns' best quarterback in the last 15 years.
Oh gosh. Oh.
I mean, he took
Now
him to the
everyone's
playoffs.
upset about the Bears.
He took him to the playoffs.
Kelly Holcomb.
He took him to the playoffs. He did something he hasn't done in
I might
years.
still been in school.
Derek Anderson was really good.
Derek Anderson was really good. He couldn't get him to the playoffs.
No, but
And then have a really good game against the Chiefs in that playoffs.
yeah.
I mean, we literally traded away the only quarterback that made us successful in at least a decade.
So do we think Deshaun Watson's going to come right in and?
I
they
don't
paid
even want him
I
to
hope
play.
he does.
Like, if we're not in, I don't think we'll be in contention. I mean, we're gonna lose Monday night to Pittsburgh, or not Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I don't see us in contention, so I think it's say take these 2-3 games you get to play, knock off the rust, and let's get to work for next year. That's it.
Yeah.
Because you have to play in 2 years, so.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get.
No.
I know a lot of people are excited, but I'm like, you haven't thrown a pass in a game in
Well, yeah, that's
2 years.
a lot of people say, well, you know, he's been throwing, he's still staying in shape. That's not NFL shape. You know what I mean?
No.
I can sit and throw against my buddies or high school kids, but you ain't gonna do that when you throw it against NFL guys chasing running you down.
And get hit too.
Right. Yeah.
Like in wrestling, they talk about like, you get in the mess, you gotta get used to being in pain. Like,
Yeah.
he hasn't been hit, he hasn't had been rushed, he hasn't had to move sideways, like, do all these things you have to do in a game in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's scary to me.
He had more weapons in Houston
Oh yeah.
than he's going to have here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're just overthinking it. We should just shut up and hand the ball to Nick Chubb and
Nick Chubb. All
watch
day.
his greatness.
Are we going to trade Hunt?
Have to.
I mean, if he doesn't want to be there, I guess I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know how he's acting. If he's saying, hey, I want to be traded, but he's working his butt off, I'm okay with it.
I don't know.
He's still
I
really
think you
good
got to
football.
trade him because he ain't going to get the football. If we can get something for him,
Oh, no, I agree if you can get something for it, but I mean, if he's sitting there and he's still a good teammate in the locker room and he's still working hard,
I think he'd look good as a Bear.
well, anybody can look good as a Bears what we got right now.
I mean, I don't know if the Bears have anything we want.
I would suggest, my guess would be the Buffalo Bills would be really interested.
Yeah, I was seeing.
And somebody like Kareem Hunt.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nasty.
I saw Alvin Kamara too up for trade. Might be a Buffalo Bill. That team's scary. Scary team.
I think I could be happy seeing them win. I'd be alright with seeing them.
All right, I want to do something real quick before we jump into White on White. Let's make Super Bowl picks.
Oh.
Our final two teams and who wins. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills. The NFC is scary right now. It's a hard. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Buffalo Bills play the Dallas Cowboys. Buffalo wins.
Who you got, Chad? I'd have to go with Buffalo, but
I'm going to go off the rail a little bit.
Oh,
I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes, who's really hot. And Kansas City goes. And then I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey is a difference
San
maker.
Fran.
And it's San Francisco, Kansas City,
who wins?
San Francisco.
Ooh, upset. All right.
I mean,
Travis Blank will be really hot.
I was on the same mindset on the San Francisco side. I just thought, he was big for them. The Cowboys look like probably the best team in the NFC, or them and Philly. I'm worried about Philly maybe peaking too early. Maybe they're playing their best football early and mid of the season. So I don't really want to go chalk. And I'd have to see the Cowboys do it when the pressure's on. They haven't done it yet. So I really like the San Francisco pick.
Listen, I think they might, like, their record doesn't show it. But Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think their biggest thing though is keeping that defense healthy. Nick Bosa has to stay healthy for them to be successful.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, listen, I'm going to go with Chad, and I hate to try to steal your pick, but I think you're right on that. I think they're just, and I just being laying off the chalk, I'd go with San Francisco, and then I think maybe just because I wouldn't mind seeing the Bills win something.
So you're picking the Bills to beat San Fran.
Sure.
Okay. You heard it here first.
I'll go with my New York Times, and I'll go with the Buffalo Bills.
All right.
Finally, and if they do, Jim Kelly gets a ring. Give that man his ring.
he does not deserve a ring.
Give that man his ring.
He had 4 chances to get one.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to get him one this year.
Well, you better get Thurman one too.
All right.
And I'll
We'll move on. Next segment. Why Tom? Why? Tom Brady comes back out of retirement and loses everything.
Listen,
Everything. Loses Giselle,
Why, Giselle?
we can say,
his kids.
we can, like I said earlier, I think the best time would have been winning that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. That would have been the best way to go out. You won it without Bill, you won it with a new team, but it's really hard to say, to speak for someone's competitiveness and love for something they've done their whole life.
Oh, and Tom Brady's one of those people, they're rare, that is so hyper competitive that what do you do when you retire? What do you do if you're Tom Brady and you've been so successful with everything you've ever done in your life and you just say, you're done with that?
Yeah,
You can't just go golf. You
Go
can't just
hang
go
out
golf.
with your supermodel wife?
You can't just go golf. I mean, maybe he didn't like his kids.
I was never good enough.
He's from Michigan, so-
Yeah, I was never good enough to be in a position. But if I ever played Major League Baseball, and you get to the point where no one wants you, I probably don't go making calls. You need a backup catcher? You need a third string catcher? That's how much I love the game. I just think
But you love the game more than you loved your family.
Not that. What I'm saying is sometimes, to be cliche, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
For sure.
It might be hard for someone to finally say, okay, what I've done for 20-some years, I can't do it no more. And I'm sure there's some.
He can't. Like, there's still signs that Tom can throw the ball. I think Tom has a good year if he's not getting divorced.
You know that's,
I really do.
You know that's weighing on him. And listen, there's still, like, watching some of his games, he's not off. Like, everyone's saying Tom's down.
He still can make the throw.
There's quarterbacks that will take Tom's off here right now.
Yeah.
He's not awful, but I'm sure that...
He's just not Tom Brady.
I'm sure that weighs on him.
For sure.
Legacy-wise,
Right.
I mean, if I was Tom Brady, I would not want the NFL world to see me play.
Right.
Like, at a lower level.
Right. Listen, that's why I think it would have been great to just leave after the Super Bowl Tampa Bay.
For sure.
Agree. I mean, listen,
Going out as a champion,
I think he's up in a 3-peat.
they probably did. Probably did.
That defense ain't good either.
No.
Their defense.
They got Vita Vea, who's a freak of nature. But, I mean, what the hard part with them is they signed a whole bunch of old guys that were really good. So all their contracts were huge. And then you have no youth underneath of them to offset that contract. Like, it really set them up for failure in the future. I mean, they did what they had to do to win a Super Bowl, right?
John Antonio.
The hardest thing in the world to do. Win a World Series, win a Super Bowl, whatever. And they did what they had to do, but then you got to pay for the consequences of what you had to do.
At some point.
Yeah. And that's what we're seeing right now.
But
He
listen,
doesn't
I'm
have
trading.
Gronk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't have Gronk.
No, he doesn't.
His safety cushion for almost his whole career.
But he's got Mike Evans.
He's got Mike Evans. He's
Okay.
got Chris Godwin.
Yeah, that
He
guy's,
still has weapons,
that guy's a freak.
but his offensive
Yeah,
line
Julio
is bad. His offensive line is bad, and their defense isn't very good.
And Julio Jones, I don't think.
He's 40, so
What?
he's like 40, so.
Listen, that dude was one of the most put together specimens I've ever seen.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Well, to close, we're gonna make some picks for Monday night and Thursday night football this week. Monday night we got our Cleveland Browns playing the Bengals. Yay! Love picking Browns games. What do you got, Josh?
Listen,
We'll do pick and score.
I think the Browns are better than what people are saying they are. I like their defense. I think the Bengals Bengals have a better quarterback and probably a better roster right now. So
I think the Bengals are better at everything except for running the
I
football.
think the Bengals will.
I think they're better at everything except running the football. Jamar Chase is out. Yeah, remember that. So, Burrow does not have his best weapon.
No, but they still have Burrow.
They still have Burrow. So what was your score? Sorry? You took Cincinnati?
Let's go 21-17.
21-17 Cincinnati. Chad?
Bengals. I hate to do it. I would say Bengals, and my guess is I do not like their defense, and I think their back end is really bad. So I would say we're going to go 31-14.
31-14. I'm also going to take the Bengals. I think Brissett, like, the hard part is if we can't, Chubb has to be great. Chubb has to be great at all times because we
Well, they
can't
have
throw
to
a
give him the ball.
I don't think we can. If we want to like have a running back, we can't give him the ball.
I give him 3 times.
He's their best player.
I mean, do we want him to be good this year or good next year?
I want to win now.
Listen,
We're not gonna win now, though, Chad. We can give him the ball 30 times and still lose the game.
we're picking the Bengals Cleveland game, and you have to have Chubb touch the ball as much as possible.
That's the key to success. But I'm saying that shouldn't be. Like, we're bad. We're not gonna win a Super Bowl this year. Next year we get our hopeful savior on a full year, everything else, hopefully. I'm gonna take the Bengals. The Browns secondary isn't very good either. So I'm gonna go 28-10 Bengals.
I can see that. I can see the Browns only scoring one touchdown.
And Chubby scores one, and that's it.
Yeah, we can probably give them 11 touches.
For 125 yards.
Yep, average 10, we'll give them 11 touches.
Yep. Again, thanks everybody for watching today. This is going to be weekly, every Monday morning this will come out. As always, here at Hardball Unlimited, we pride ourselves on staying up to date on almost everything sports except soccer. Thanks for watching. Look forward to reading your comments. Again, reach out today so you can play better tomorrow.
See you guys.